Hi guys, it's Amy, and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate you clicking on my videos. Well, I've got sort of a project that's in process. I don't know that we're really going to call it a whip because it's not even in the beginning stages, sort of, kind of yet, and then one finished project. So I'll finish up with my finished project and start with the wackadoo that I'm working on right now. So as you saw by the thumbnail, it was time for me to get into my pickle jar minis, and I had sort of separated them out into some colors. There's 40 minis in the group that I got, in the multi-pack that I got, and a lot of them are, not a lot of them, but some of them are these crazy neon colors that are just super duper bright. There's some normal blues back here still, and some sort of normals down here, but these brighter neon ones, I did not want those in with the rest of whatever cohesive project I'm making. I went back and forth on whether this was just going to be a giant pickle jar project and it was going to be all mixed up, but I just can't bring myself to sew these neons to these matted colors. It's not happening. So I'm still kind of on the lookout for some solid that I can put in between, that I can, you know, link them all together with. Now, most of the fingerings that I have are either a 75-25 blend of superwash merino to nylon, either a 75-25 or an 85-15. The pickle jar guys are 80-20 blends, and I don't have any other that is 80-20. So I've been looking on eBay and on Etsy and, you know, different. So first I went to the, I think it's Aberdeen wool company that did the pickle jars. These are Tangled Poets. And so of course I would start there with trying to find the same kind of yarn and just a different color base. But the whole Tangled Poets thing, they're all crazy minis. There's nothing that you can't just go and find like a solid color. So I was looking on eBay and Etsy and, you know, just Googling 80-20 splits and trying to come up with some solids, and I haven't found anything that I was satisfied with yet. So what I did, what I've got to share, to show, is that I did go through and make a bunch of hexagons in the different colors, and I tried to kind of group some colors. Like these would go together very nicely. They're all like blues and greens and that muted color, kind of like this, whoops. Kind of like this is also a muted color, but now I have that introduction of that crazy orange that kind of doesn't live anywhere else. And so here's like some muteds as well, but you know, so I was trying to go through how many purples do I have? Can I put all the purple stuff together? And they're just all over the board. So then this was like in my muted group, but it's way more yellow. And so then the yellow just totally stood out, and I didn't like that. Here's kind of an old Holly Hobby look, that pink and kind of greenish together. There's just some really, really pretty colorways, but how to put them all together, I just haven't got there yet. Putting all of the muteds together, maybe that could end up some sort of cohesiveness, but then are you really going to put, you know, this in there next to that? Like, my brain can't take it, my eye can't take it. I'm kind of unsatisfied with everything I've been trying to come up with. So I've got 22 of the hexagons made so far, and one project that I did see was using 7 of them. You take one here, and then you're going to connect another here to the 5 sides, leave one side open, and then that hexagon that you've got sewn here then folds over to the back as well. Let me get my fold right. Here to here, whoops, here to here, and then that folds. Somehow I'm kind of doing it from memory. So now this one is folded, and now you just need the and all the ones, all the 5 that go around here are all folded like this. So then all you need to do is put one more in the center and then connect the same sides that you have around. So it would be 2 pieces for the center, 1 on each side, and then 5 for the surrounding. But then I got to make a handle, and then I got to, you know, consider which one is going to be in the center and Do I have 7 that go in cohesively together? And then what do I do with the others that didn't get made into a bag? So I'm kind of, you know, I'm interested in doing that, but will it really hold up? And will the colors go together? So I've not committed to anything yet other than making the hexagons. And I still have the whole rest of the mini, like I didn't cut it. Like they each all have like this tiny little piece hanging on. So I've got kind of a mess with my ends right now. I had them all laid out on the pool table like I do to kind of play with my different color setups and stuff. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with these, but just sweet little hexagons in all these great colors. And, you know, some of them you really see that could go together. Some of them not so much. And then I got all the neon stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. I'm not sure how that's going to all come together. But on the one hand, it's kind of fun to think all creatively, what am I going to do? And on the other hand, like, what am I going to do? Okay, so when I was here the other day, you have seen the video already, it's already posted, of the fact that I got in here and started to cake up a bunch of my skeins. And you know, playing with the different colorways next to each other. You think, does this go with this? Does this go with this? And I had bought this skein. Did I get this at Seven Sisters? Now I can't remember when. No, this was a yarn com because I remember standing looking at the back wall. I did not mean to buy this. It was Yarn Com's birthday. That's what it was. It was Yarn Com's birthday. So I did want to go and celebrate the birthday and buy some yarn from them for their birthday, whatever. And this, during my last pass around, am I sure I saw everything I wanted to buy or everything I wanted to see? Yes, I did, with the exception of this one section. If you remember, I had this at home already. This is Rios in the color Arco Iris. And I did get this at Seven Sisters some time ago, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And so I thought, what colors do they have in the store that might match this? Because I was looking at the Malabriga. So what I did find was this Rios in the colorway Aries, which I am an Aries, so that made that sense. You know, it was their birthday, but it was my zodiac, so I was buying this one in this gorgeous red. I want it to come out right, and reds kind of don't show up right on the camera like this, but it's absolutely gorgeous. There are some lighter tones and some deeper tones. You can see here there's some like that really light, it's almost orange but not quite, and then sort of some purpley but not quite. It's really, really pretty. It's a lot more red and orange than this is showing up. But the pattern I chose to work on this, I always forget how I'm saying that. This is a pattern that I had collected and saved a while back. So I've been waiting to find that perfect match of, you know, when you see the yarn and you've got the pattern in your head and you go, boom, that's going to work. So this is called the Woven Raider, and it's by Tracy Bush. And she had a couple of different variations for it, whether you're going to use, you know, fingering weight yarn. This is worsted weight. You can make a smaller shawlette. You can make a full-size shawl. So I'll go ahead and link that, obviously, as I always do, down below. And take a look at some of the different patterns. I mean, it's pretty much all the same pattern except like where you stop and some other little minor things here and there. But I thought it was a really nice pattern. And again, it's one of those that maybe I didn't realize what stitch I was getting myself into until I sat down to actually work the project. And I thought it was funny. I'm a sci-fi fan. If you didn't know that, I watch Star Trek and I watch Star Wars and all those good things. Battlestar Galactica is not one that I do watch. I don't know that I've ever seen a single episode of that show. But she has named this shawlette for something in the show. I had to look up the picture. Here's that picture. This is what she named it for. I thought that was interesting to find that out. But so I used a G 4mm hook on this worsted weight, you know, so that's going to make it a little bit tighter and compact. I really wanted the yarn to sing. I did not want a busy project, you know, a busy pattern. I really wanted the colors of this yarn to sing, and I believe they did. Now it is just a moss stitch, so that's where I kind of get like, why am I doing a moss stitch? I kind of did a few moss things a few months back. I got that in my craw, and then just decided, you know, I'd had enough of the moss stitch and I moved on. So I didn't necessarily set out to do the moss stitch on this one, but it is. And it's 31 rows. I left that little hook on here so to tell you that so I wouldn't forget, but it is 31 rows. And I just did a little shell pattern on the edges to kind of finish it off. So, ta-da! I like this rounding shape. Come in close so you can see how like that orange, every little bit, that little bit of orange pops out, and some of the darker color as well kind of pops out there. So it looks like Mars, you know, looks like our red planet, and it's nice and compact, as you can see. Now this is not one that I blocked, and I think I've said this before, but let's make the distinction between blocking an item that needs to be blocked and just stretching an item. I don't believe this needs to be blocked because there's no laciness that you're trying to share. It's just the compact pattern, right? So if I try to block it, it just becomes stretchy. That's not what I want to do. I mean, I guess you could do that if you wanted to, but that's not my intention. I don't need to just stretch this out and make it bigger and more open. There's no pattern here that you need to see. It's just a moss stitch. Chain one, skip one, single crochet, over and over and over again. So when I got to the end, I just put a simple shell pattern on there, 5 double crochets, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2, 5 double crochets, skip 2, single crochet, skip 2. So it's got a nice little scallopy edge there. And again, just one that you could sort of tuck in the ends if you want it full all the way up. You could put a button on this if you didn't want it so far up. You know, if you wanted it to come together a little bit lower, give your throat some space there, you could, you know, just put it as a button. Ta-da! So lots of different ways you could do it. Again, there were a few different patterns that you could, or a few different variations where she shows you continuing on and making it a full size, but with just having one hank here. And worsted weight, you don't get very much yardage on worsted weight. Now this one is 210 yards, which is a lot. Most of the worsted weights I find are like closer to 180 yards. So this was sort of an impulse buy because what I ended up buying to go with the Rios was this more purplish color. I really thought that that would go together well with it. So whatever I do, these two, I plan on putting these two together because I just thought they were so pretty together. And then I had this one sitting on the other side just in case I changed my mind and wanted to put this Aries color with the Arco Iris, this one and this one together, and not use the purple. But there's a lot of variation in this color, and I thought that that was kind of busy on busy. So I really look forward to putting these two together because I think these are so gorgeous. Yay, I love those. So, all right, guys, if you like to have some choices on different variations on what you're going to put to, when a scarf is offered in a couple of different ways or a shawl is offered in a couple of different variations, you have your choices on how you want to do it, whether you want to use 2 fingering weights together, held together, and work it as a DK, or jump all the way up to the worsted and use that. There you go. Lots of choices with this one. So again, this was the Woven Raider by Tracy Bush, and I will list that down below. All right, guys, if you've got some ideas on how to make this cohesive, if you see a colorway, I mean, obviously there's too many colors to see, but looking through what yarns are available to buy, they're an 80-20 They're still even speckled. Like, I'm not finding any solid colors. So I don't know what I'm going to do with these. We might come up with something interesting. We might not. So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for you today. I hope you've enjoyed your time, smiled a little bit, laughed a little bit. Please do come back and see me again. Have a wonderfully blessed day. Bye-bye.